The Pope dies and he ascends to heaven. And at the pearly gates, St. Peter sees him. And as the Pope tries to walk through the gates, St. Peter stops and says, "Where do you think you're going?" The Pope says, "I'm the Pope of Rome. I'm going into heaven." St. Peter says, "I don't recognize you. You can't just come in here." The Pope says, "Well, if you get in touch with the Holy Spirit, he'll vouch for me." So St. Peter gets on the phone, says, "Hey, Spook, this guy claims to be the Pope of Rome. Do you know who he is?" The Holy Spirit says, "I don't know who he is." St. Peter goes back to the Pope and he says, "No, he can't vouch for you." So the Pope's getting frustrated. He says, "Well, call Jesus Christ. He'll vouch for me." So St. Peter gets back on the phone, dials it up, says, "JC, there's this guy claiming to be the Pope of Rome, wants to get into heaven. Do you know who he is?" Christ says, "I don't know who he is. You can't let him in." St. Peter goes back to the Pope, says, "He's not vouching for you." Well, the Pope is really frustrated now. He says, "Call the Father." So St. Peter goes back to the phone and calls up God. And he says to God, "Look, there's this guy, the Pope of Rome, and he wants to get into heaven. He claims you know him. Do you know him?" God says, "Yes, of course I know him. He's the guy who keeps spreading the stories about me and the Virgin Mary. Tell him to go to hell."